Tanya Hart here. Thank you for joining us on Hollywood Live. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And yes, the lady is here with us. Hi, Pernell. How are you, Pernell Walker? Say hello to everybody on Hollywood Live.
Hello, Hollywood Live. Hello, Tanya Hart. Thank you so much for having me on your fabulous show.
Oh, girl, thank you. You know, we just trying to get through the pandemic here.
Listen, okay, everything.
all of the above.
Yes.
But I have to tell you, I've been watching you for years. You really amassed a wonderful body of work. And now with City on the Hill, this seems to have brought everything you've done into like under, one banner and like, oh yes, now she is shining.
Yeah.
So congratulations to you for that.
Thank you. I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
And for anybody who has not seen City on the Hill, I would suggest that you go back and see all of the episodes. It's a unique show. Needless to say, I love it because I am a Bostonian, and all of those places that you go to and that you talk about, I'm like, oh yeah, and I remember that person. And it's very interesting how you bring Boston's history to life in a very subtle way in this. But let's talk a little bit about the show and the premise of the show. You play a mom, a Grace, who is a community activist. And when I watch you, it seems like there's so many women that I remember that you just embodied. But tell me a little bit about the role.
Well, Grace is a mom, and she lives in this community in Roxbury, and she is a coalition leader, activist, as you said, and she works very hard so people in her community have what they need and more, and just to make the community better. And she's also raising her 2 sons, which is very challenging. It's just challenging, period. But in a different environment that's not so nurturing in a very healthy way, as we see how they go. She's just trying her best, you know what I mean? And when I saw the writing, I was amazed because I knew these women, just like you said. I'm from the South Bronx, and I knew my mom was one of those women going to the PTA, making dinners for people, or, just helping to make everything better or make the quality of life better, no matter what the circumstance was. So I really related to Grace,
Yeah, I can tell, but Grace has got some issues because, as you said, it is not easy to raise children, and especially sons. Funny thing, about Roxbury, a lot of people have not even heard of Roxbury, Massachusetts, but it's been there for about 400 years now, and or more. And so, but it is the heart of the Black community in Boston, and it has been for way over 100 years now. And so for it to be focused on like this, I think is good. And people will say, but it's very negative, but it's just real. It's just real. And honestly, it has not changed a whole lot. This takes place in the 90s, but it hasn't changed a whole lot. And here we are in 2021. Being from that kind of an area yourself and growing up like in that kind of an environment, what is the most challenging thing for any mom trying to raise children in the projects?
I think one of the most challenging is keeping your children's spirits and morale up to keep striving for better, regardless of what you see around you, regardless, I grew up where I knew different people where, their siblings got shot or somebody was incarcerated, or it was just crazy because it was like the crack epidemic, the AIDS epidemic, all happening in the same communities, and the Reaganomics didn't trickle down. Okay.
No, they did not.
Disaster. Okay. So I feel like the biggest thing is to keep that light in the child alive, to want to do more. Even the people that I grew up with, as long as they kept that light and that hope in them to know that things can get better, you just have to reach out for that and know that this is not your whole existence. Because sometimes people don't ever get out their neighborhood, They stay right there, and that's all they know. But yeah, I love my mom for that, because she always wanted us to go to do different things, go outside, go to a street fair, go downtown, go anywhere, you know. So she's always been that cheerleader. But I think that's like the main thing, having a cheerleader that really has your back, even if that's that one person that can really keep that light flickering, you know, behind those eyes, because that's the main thing, you know. Before anything, it's like energy. Keep that energy and the vibration light and just positive, you know.
Right. Well, interestingly, on the show, Grace is all of that, but she has a son who has committed some horrible crimes. And now all of this has to be reckoned with. And I'm assuming that with this finale episode, we will find out what happens. All I got to say is y'all better come back for season 3, okay?
Well, spoiler alert, one of my sons will not be back. Shannon Wallace, Anton. And my other son, I still love my babies. You know, he's fighting for his life right now. So I can't wait. I just can't wait for you guys to see what happens. If you listen, it goes down.
Okay. I know.
She's like, okay.
Okay, I can imagine. And I got to tell you, Kevin Bacon, and I just call him DeCarcy Ward, but his real name is, give me his real name real quickly.
Aldous Hodge.
I thank you. Oh, and he's so fabulous. Everybody, the entire cast, I've got to say, the entire cast just brings it. But the two of them, you know, with that constant edge and constant back and forth of like, okay, good versus evil, basically. Because down to whole show is about good versus evil, everybody, in case you haven't seen it. They just really bring it. And for those who aren't familiar with that particular part of the country, the show design, the set design, everything is very on point. It's very accurate, I think, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a huge compliment from a native Bostonian, you know what I mean? So
yeah. I'm not exactly a native, but I went there as a teenager and I've been kind of there ever since. So you know, I know. And interestingly enough, I was a reporter, a regular street reporter for many years, and did the very first story on crack when it hit our community. And this was in the early 80s. Yeah. And so know those stories and what happened to people, really good people. So that's what I love about this show, because you guys bring all of that, and you have really in-depth stories, you know, and backstories. So you kind of really know who these characters are, which I always think is a good thing too. So as you move forward, so it sounds like there is going to be a season 3?
I have no idea. I don't know, but I hope so, with this fabulous writing and Tom Fontana and his team of writers. They have been amazing. I mean, they wrote, child. Yeah, they did. Okay. They did. I mean, I can feel the characters, and when I saw them up, even Jackie, I mean, they take you on a ride, you know. Yeah, they do. And so I'm very hopeful. I have no idea though. I don't know.
Well, we'll get on. I think we should start a social media campaign and make sure that the show comes back, because we want to continue seeing you, first of all, and see where your character.
Thank you.
After all this trauma, because girlfriend is in some trauma, everybody, okay?
Therapy, okay?
Therapy.
Listen.
Yeah, this would be the good point for therapy right about here. Okay. What do you have on your plate as well, Pernell? What are some of the other projects you're working on?
Well, just promoting this and just going out for the next thing. I mean, I don't know. I'm hopeful. I'm excited to see where it goes. And that's it. I'm staying open. I'm keeping my vibration high. So that's it.
And what would you say to everyone who may not have seen City on a Hill just yet? And the other 2 questions. What would you say to folks who haven't seen the show? And like many Showtime series, will it be available someplace else for people to kind of binge watch if they need to?
Sure, it's on Showtime anytime. That's the streaming of Showtime. And literally you can see the latest episode the day of, like literally midnight that Sunday. You can see that episode before it airs. and you can binge it on there. They also did a great job of promoting it on YouTube. The first episode of the second season is on YouTube for free. There's different clips and scenes from season 2 on also YouTube. But I just, listen, make the investment. It's worth the subscription, y'all. Get into it. Y'all can have heart attacks too. We don't have to all be all in our feelings every week. Y'all can get on in this.
Right. Well, I also love the fact that it is that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are they always bring stuff back home. I got to give it to those boys, you know, the Ringe and Latin boys. They do love their city, and they always bring these stories. And I've just been, like I said, I've been moved by the amount of detail and the accuracy that they have put into this. But I'm just curious, do you ever see Matt and Ben? have they shown up?
No, I never saw them on set or anything. And I think because of the COVID stuff, a lot of the writers had to be remotely, like they were on set, but kind of like remote, like from another distance or something like that. But I never saw them, but I'm very grateful to them. Thank you for this opportunity. Hello.
So now you guys, did you shoot this during during COVID? Was this season actually shot during COVID?
I know that when we started in February last year, and it paused in the middle of March. Like for me, March 11th was my last day, and then everybody thought it was just going to be like 2 weeks. It's like, okay, just 2 weeks, and we'll see. And 6 months later, then we commenced to filming again. I think back at like the end of September with a lot of testing. I mean, this production was very thorough in everything. I mean, I was getting tested so often, and they were catching everything. I mean, it was just amazing. The face shields, the mask, and every precaution was taken. Like I think in a month, I probably was tested maybe 40 times.
Wow.
Like the day before you go on set, the day of, the rapid test, it's just a lot. If you had a long weekend before, then they catch you that, I mean, the end of that weekend, and it was just like every precaution was taken. I'm so grateful. You know, I felt really safe. And but it started, so practically the end of September into the end of the year, and I think we wrapped like that this February.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm impressed then, because I was wondering, I'm like, okay, I know this is season 2, and when did they shoot this? Because I really, you can't tell that you're shooting it in COVID, because you cannot, like some of the more current shows, be wearing the mask and showing them. It cannot be a part of the storyline when you're in 1993. You know what I mean? So that's very interesting. You guys did a great job on that. Well, Pernell, we will have you back for season 3, because I know it's coming back.
Come on.
Don't worry about it. I'm sure that these guys will work it out. But thank you so much for all you've done and all you will continue to do. If there was one role that you really are just dying, though, to play, what would that role be?
I don't know. Maybe a Lady Macbeth or something. I don't know, but I don't know. It will find me. Whatever that is, it always finds me, because I've just been blessed by so many great roles and really great writers. And so I'm going to leave it to the universe.
No, there you go. Well, the universe has done well by you, darling. Thank you so much for joining us on Hollywood Live, and come back anytime and bring the cast and crew with you. We'll have the guys on, and, you know, whatever children you might have left after this season.
Listen,
I know. We're not going to give it away. Everybody tune in to Showtime for City on a Hill. You will not be disappointed. Thank you, Pernell.
Thank you.
For our family to attend the Academy Awards in 1964. It was phenomenal. And that was the thing that had me deciding I have to somehow find my way into Hollywood.